In this Minecraft video, we are going to survive 200 days in Minecraft Hardcore's latest version, 1.17. Who are the we? Well, to my left there is Austin, and to my right there is Chris. If any one of the three of us die, then we must start again from day one. We up the ante this time with our ultimate goal to have a 3v9 wither fight. Can we survive? Well, you'll have to watch and find out. But before we begin, I'd like to say there is still a massive 90% of people not subscribed to the channel, and I ask that if you go on to enjoy the video, please consider doing so. It's free and it does help me out a lot. Secondly, you want 300 days in this world? Because you smashed the goal last time, let's go for 10k likes and I will convince them yet again to do another 100 days. And finally, YouTube comment shout of the day goes to Jenstorm, who said these videos deserve way more views, amazing content. Thanks Jen, I really appreciate the comment and I hope you keep enjoying the videos for as long as I keep making them. Right, let's get into this. Picking it back up on day 101, the first thing we did was, well, reassociate ourselves with the world. It'd been a full month since we actually played on this world, so we definitely needed a little time to sort of readjust to where we were, where we left off. I had a quick look around at the few things that were in this world, so I knew exactly what we needed to do to make this world better. It was day 102 when I started enchanting, which... okay, I need to have a quick side note for a second. In the first 100 days, we played in Minecraft Snapshot version 21W10A, which had a funny glitch that basically meant that we couldn't enchant in an enchant table. Didn't matter whether there was bookshelves or not, which a lot of people said the reason you can't was because of the bookshelves. I even got insulted by a couple of people. My feelings were really hurt. We started the 200 days in 21W13A, which had now fixed that issue, which means we was now able to enchant. It's not because I was an idiot, it's because we physically could not enchant based on the snapshot. Also, I don't know why a lot of people think you need bookshelves to enchant. That's just not a thing. But you know, a more you know kind of moment. I enchanted all of my armor and all of my gear after a little grindstone work on the pickaxe as well. Thank you guys for pointing out that you can do this. It makes life so much easier. We decided the best thing to do was actually split up and take on our own individual goals. Austin started working on the interior of the house to make our own separate rooms. Chris started working on the villages. We wanted to get a mending book from one of them, so he started working on making a librarian that gave us a mending book, and I went into the nether hunting for some netherite. We had all the netherite tools and weapons, but we needed netherite pickaxes, so I need to go and get 12 pieces of ancient debris. And so into the nether I went. And that's pretty much what I did for the next 5 days. I had to come back at one point to get a new pickaxe, because obviously my first one broke. Once I got back into the nether, back to the netherite grinding, I got my 12th piece of ancient debris on day 109 and headed back to the overworld. By the time I was home on day 110, I checked up on Chris, who apparently didn't know you can manipulate trades for librarians. So here we have 20 librarians, all with useless trades. Once I explained that to him, I started bringing the villagers myself, and he started working on some proper villager manipulation. Luckily, I still had some leftover beds from the original netherite hunt. If not, we'd have to grind some more wool, which I'm very grateful we don't have to do. The next day, Chris actually got the mending villager. Before we put mending on anything, I gave out the netherite and we upgraded all of our pickaxes, and now was the task of getting ourselves the mending books necessary to put on all of our gear. We grinded some farms, Chris made a bunch of farming villages, and we just went back and forth trading emeralds until we got 18 mending books. That took us all the way until day 117. We now had 6 each, one for all of our armor, one for our weapon of choice, and one for our pickaxes. And I applied all of my mending stuff on day 118, and now that my gear was good, it was time for us to take on the next task. We had 2 goals that we wanted to set out nice and early. The first one was we wanted to add an aquarium to our house, and the second one was we wanted to max out a beacon. Since Austin had already started working on the interior of the house, he was designated with going into the world, finding some tropical fish and some pufferfish, whilst me and Chris went to go and get some iron. But being honest, I would rather search the caves in the ocean because I love the 1.17 caves. Like seriously, just a casual reminder that if you've not played 1.17 yet, I would highly recommend it. After one very long caving trip, we walked home with almost 9 stacks of iron between us, thinking that's easily enough to max out an iron beacon. And when we got back on day 123, Austin was already home. We smelted the iron and we started completing the beacon. If you ignore the bottom layer, yeah, we may have underestimated this by a huge amount. Since we failed that task miserably, we all decided to take on the aquarium task, which we had a couple of disagreements about. Once we put our egos aside and sort of settled on what we have here, the only thing left to do was to put something inside the aquarium, which on day 127, we managed to get a dolphin into the aquarium as well. A nice little addition to the upstairs of the house, if you ask me personally. After that was done, Chris and Austin wanted to finish off the beacon, which I really just didn't want to do. I wanted to go hang out with my other friends, and so I started trading. I wanted wanted to start the task of getting the 9 withers ready. Now, for those who can't do the maths, you need 3 skulls per wither, so that means we needed 27 wither skulls, and there was no way I was doing that task without at least having a looting sword. And so, because I actually knew what I was doing, it was villager manipulation on day 1 to 8. And by the time I got my first looting book on day 130, it was only looting 1. My 2 choices was to keep doing this until I got a looting 2 or 3 book, or just suck it up and just do it with a looting 1 and combine. I decided to do the latter option because I just thought that'd be easier. Here we are on day 131, applying the last looting book to my sword, giving it looting 3. After that, I headed straight for the Nether Fortress, and can I just say, you don't understand the luxury of having a looting sword until you can't have a looting sword. This was going to be so much easier than the original 100 days. I spent the next 6 days in the Nether, where I was able to get a total of 10 wither skulls. I'm pretty sure it took us twice as long to get 9 last time, so you can definitely see the difference that the looting 3 sword made. I was going to keep going, but Chris and Austin said that they was heading back at this point, and so I decided let's call it there for the time being. We can go back as a team later and sort that out. I got home on day 139, where I tended to the farms, replanted them. I bred a couple of animals as well. I was basically just waiting for them to come home. And once they got back on day 140, we smelted all the iron and finished off the full powered beacon the very same day. We are really starting to turn this world into a proper hardcore survival world, and it is great. On day 141, this is where things got a little, yeah. So I went AFK for 5 minutes. And whilst I did that, Austin and Chris made their own individual plans. Chris went into the Nether to get some wither skulls. He didn't get looting on his sword, which was going to be a big mistake for him. And Austin started working on a barn for the animals, because so far they were just in that fenced area that no one really liked. And I didn't really want to do either of those things. I just spent a couple hours doing wither skulls, and there's nothing I could really do to help Austin build. He's the pro builder, and I would probably just make anything he built worse. And so well, I took on my own task, let's say. So I went into the water and I got some clay. And then I went to go get some sand and some gravel too. Made a couple pieces of concrete and stuff. Little bit of building here, a little bit of building there. And then it was day 147 when I was just about to finish this masterpiece, which was a replica of my skin made of concrete. And it was at that moment that Chris saw it for the first time.
What is this?
What is what? Oh.
What are you doing?
You know,
Chris, wait, what's going on, Chris?
yeah, but
he's doing something behind our house.
Oh, behind it.
I've been busy. Listen.
I don't want to look because I don't trust what.
You don't want to look. You're
What
right.
have you done, Daniel?
Listen, we had a lot of spare time.
Look at its stupid neck. What is it?
What do you mean? The neck's fine. This is great. I don't care what they say. I think it looks great. Once that was done, I basically just waited for Austin to finish the barn so all 3 of us could head into the Nether for more skull hunting. I originally got the 10. Chris got 2 more in the time that I was, doing my masterpiece. So we only needed 15 more to complete this task. It was also this point that Chris went to go get looting on his sword because, that was going to make a big difference, like I say. Austin finished the barn on day 148 and we all headed into the Nether the same day. Plenty of stabbies later, and I actually made a tactical retreat home because both mine and Chris's food storage was running a little low. Hopefully he doesn't mind the cat otters. I got back the same day and dropped off his care package. And for the next 5 days, all 3 of us just kept killing wither skulls. It was day 160 when all 3 of us together obtained 15 wither skulls. I grabbed the necessary soul sand and then we headed back to the overworld. It was just turning day 161 when we put all the skulls and the soul sand into the necessary chest just so we could admire our success. After that, we was actually having a little bit of a shortage on coal, and we wanted to turn the tier 1 beacons that we did have into tier 2 beacons, and I thought it'd be cool to turn them into gold beacons. And so I went caving for gold and iron. And I apparently just found the mother load of caves, because by the end of day 162, turning just to 163, I had finished my caving, and look at all the coal and gold that I got. Luckily, the cave was sort of split into 2 areas, the lower and the higher, and the higher just had a plethora of coal, and the lower just had a plethora of gold. We now had enough gold to finish off the 2 beacons whenever we get round to that one. Whilst I was doing that, Austin was actually preparing some potions for us. He was getting water breathing as well, he was getting night vision. You see, earlier when Austin was looking for those tropical fish and pufferfish to put in the aquarium, he actually found himself an ocean monument, and I don't remember the last time I searched an ocean monument, so we decided to pop on there, get some sponges and the gold, and just have a good exploration of it. We set off and got there on day 164, and obviously being the excited little kid I am, I just charged in and it's empty? What the? I have never seen an empty monument before, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I actually googled this and I've never seen anyone see an empty monument like this before. This was weird. I thought that maybe I just found a broken seed, so I went into a single player world and found the same monument, but in the single player world, the monument is full. So I don't know if maybe from changing versions that the monument was empty, but for one reason or another, in this world, we just have an ocean monument that has nothing on the inside. No Elder Guardians, no blocks of gold, nothing. This is just how it spawned. Again, I googled through everything and I have never seen anyone see this or do this. I'm not sure if this is a first or not, but all I'm gonna say is that if this gets noticed by people, you saw it here first. What a strange experience. Luckily, because we was in a massive ocean, there was actually another ocean monument nearby. They actually searched and found that. I was gonna join them in the search, but a guardian jumped in my boat and I thought that'd have been a really cool addition to the aquarium. And so I quickly took him back before joining them. I got back just in time before it turned to day 165, and on day 165 we went into the monument, we killed all the guardians, I collected all the gold, and after all that was done, I was just about to leave when Chris said, hey, you know there's an axolotl in here, which I casually just, you know, yoink! We got back on day 166, and I tried to get the Guardian into the aquarium where I failed miserably. It would have been really cool to have him in there, but, well, I guess we'll just have to settle with Tiffany. I'll just pop him straight into the aquarium. I'm sure that's not a bad idea. I'll give you a little fun fact at this point that we didn't know. Did you know that axolotls kill every single mob they see in the water? So the dolphin that's in there and the pufferfish that's in there, well, they're not going to be in there for long, I'll tell you that much. On day 167, we started working on an iron farm. We wanted an iron farm because, why did we want an iron farm? Nevertheless, we got the basics done by day 169. Nice. And we took a break to, you know, pick step. Woo! And after messing around on day 172, we managed to finish the iron farm, which was pretty great. And then we went back to more pick step. Woo! On day 173, Chris had to walk his dog and he didn't return for like 3 hours. And so me and Austin had some time to kill. One of the builds I've always wanted to do in Minecraft was a lighthouse, and so I decided to take on that task. Austin offered to help, but I decided to do it alone because the last time I wanted some help with a build was the boat, and yeah, we don't talk about the boat. I luckily had some clay and concrete left over from my skin build, so all I really needed was stone and quartz. Luckily for me though, we had a bunch left over from being in this world for so long. I did have to pop into the nether a little bit to get some quartz, but other than that, I had everything I really needed to go. I'll show you a couple highlights as I'm building this, because I just want to take this time now to say thank you guys so much for the support on the first 100 days. After only 2 weeks of that video being up, it is my second most viewed video on my channel. I just cannot believe how well it's done. I just want to say again, thank you guys so much for enjoying the content, and I'm going to keep making it for as long as you guys keep enjoying it. Just a reminder about the like goal, and maybe consider subscribing, and we'll get straight back to it. I completed the lighthouse on day 180, and it was... I mean, it looks good, I think. I can't really decide if it looks really good or really bad, so I'm gonna let you guys decide. What do you guys think of the lighthouse? Yay or nay? Day 181 is when Chris returned from his incredibly long dog walk, and so just to tick off another thing from this giant bucket list, we decided to take on a raid. So back on about day 1 or 2, Austin instantly found a pillager outpost, and so we headed there and got the bad omen effect. After that, it was a simple trip back to the nearby village, where on day 183, we began the raid. Now, admittedly, this has been the first time since I've done a raid in a very long time, so I was actually a slightly bit concerned. But then I remembered that we're all in protection 4 netherite armor, and so this fight was a joke. It was the same day and it was over, and it was so incredibly easy. I got to enjoy the fireworks at least. They were nice. After that, it was day 184 where I was actually alone. Chris disappeared again and Austin had to go poop, so I was by myself for the first time in a while. I did a little bit of farm tending, but I got bored of that pretty quickly. And then I remembered something. I had some concrete left over, right? And we have all this space on the second floor of the home, right? And so I was like, what's the stupidest thing I can build off the top of my head that isn't my skin? And a little bit of red dye later, and it's, yeah, I think it looks great. Let's see what Austin thinks.
Daniel, what on earth have you done?
It's not. I got it. Okay, no, it's actually done. Listen. Chris has been gone for an hour. You were AFK. I had the time. All right.
Why do you keep building just these random statues?
Dude, it's,
Like, also, why'd you have to build something so cursed, dude?
it's so sus.
Shut up!
Dude, it's so. Hang on. I haven't even seen it myself yet. Hang on.
God, I hate you.
It looks so good though. It looks so good. You can't say it doesn't look good.
I hate you so
It
much.
looks so good.
I hate how well done it is.
I was like, you know, earlier when I was just like, hey, do you have any roses? It was entirely for this. This is what I've been doing for, like,
God,
almost an
I
hour.
hate you so much.
Oh my god. We actually paused for a little bit on day 187 because Chris didn't come back for a while and Austin needed to take a break. But when we got back on day 187, the latest version of Snapshot was released. 21W14A. This didn't make too many changes to Minecraft, but the big change was now when you were to mine a ore, it wouldn't give you the ore anymore, it would give you the raw version of that material. I needed to go caving anyway, and I wanted to experience this for the first time, and so I did a massive caving trip. I wanted to get a bunch of iron for a future build. You'll see that in 300 days when that comes out. And many Minecraft days later, it was day 194, and I had got myself a plethora of iron. 3 hours in 1.17 caves, and I loved every second of it. We set up an automatic smelter and let that start cooking, and then it was time for us to prepare for the wither fight. It was the only thing left for us to do. I grabbed the leftover potions from the last wither fight that we didn't use, and then I headed to the nearby desert, and they reluctantly followed me. They originally wanted to do it in the Woodland Mansion, would you believe? What a terrible idea that would have been. By the time we got there on day 198, we was ready. I ate 1 golden apple, and then we spawned all 9 withers. And my god, we got destroyed. Oh my. I don't think we was ever prepared for this initial wither fight, but we was gonna hack it out. We was gonna survive somehow. From what I could tell from listening to the audio, what happened was that the withers split into 3 different directions. I got stuck with 2 of them. 2 of them just didn't really move from the starting area, and the other 5 was locked on both Chris and Austin. And so I was dealing with the 2 withers by myself. Thanks to some well-timed poison drinking, I was able to kill the first wither thanks to the sharpness of my sword and the strength of the potions. And it was much easier to kill 1 wither than to fight 2 withers at the same time, though it did require me to use one of my health potions. Once I took down the second wither, I actually found the third wither by himself just sat in the sand, and I was able to take him down as well. He admittedly wasn't too much of a hassle, but it was now onto wither 4. As the night fell, the fight was still raging on. My potions were now quite limited, however I was able to take down wither 4 by myself too. Only 2 withers that were now left were the 2 that were still fighting Austin and Chris. However, for the first time in the fight, the withers were the ones that was actually outnumbered. The 3 of us was able to take down the first one relatively quickly. However, Austin was about to die, and if it wasn't for the extra health potion I had, I think he probably would have there. He already lost his totem of undying, so if I didn't have this health potion, we probably would have had to start all the way from day 1 again, which I really didn't want to do. And because of that health potion, all 3 of us were able to take down the last wither together, and we had won the 3v9 wither fight. And man, if we have to up it next time, oof, I have no idea how we're gonna up it. And what did we do for the final 2 days, I hear you ask? Well, it was day 199 when we did pig step, yeah! And after doing the pig step, it turned to day 200 where we watched the sunset one last time. With some more pig step, yeah! Alright, thanks for watching, everybody.